Welcome to the Stop Down Photography Podcast, episode 14. I'm your host, Scott Davenport. Today's topic is Put It on the Shelf. Hi everyone, welcome. Thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Good to be back sharing some more thoughts about photography this week. If you enjoy today's podcast, please tell a friend or share it with your photo club or share it on your social media accounts. Now, today's topic I'm calling Put It on the Shelf. Sometimes you need to put something away in order to make progress on it. Let me lead into this topic with a little story, and if you've been with me on the podcast these last few months, it'll be no surprise that this story involves the Beatles. During the sessions of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, John Lennon demoed the verse and chorus of a song called A Day in the Life, and this would ultimately be the final track on the album. Recording began, they laid down John's track, and the song had a big gap in the middle, a 24-bar blank space. If you're familiar with the song, it's right after the second verse and the first iteration of that orchestral crescendo. It had nothing after that, just 24 bars of we're not sure what to put here, and that's a lot of emptiness for a song. Thoughts and conversations came and went, and the track just sat around unfinished. They went on to record other songs for the album, some other songs that didn't even land on Sgt. Pepper, like Strawberry Fields, that went out as a single. Weeks went by. A Day in the Life remained unfinished, sitting on the shelf. Eventually, the boys came back to finish the song. A 24-bar gap was filled in, but with a completely different song snippet, something that Paul McCartney had wrote. Again, if you're familiar with the song, this is the part that begins, woke up, got out of bed. That was not part of John's original composition, but it fits wonderfully. It's musically different, it's tonally different, it's a very interesting bridge in a song. And putting A Day in the Life aside for a few weeks meant returning to it with fresh eyes. It's a music track, so I guess fresh ears would be more correct, I suppose. But to make progress, sometimes we need to take a break from the work. What prompted me to choose this topic for the podcast is my own recent experience with Put It on the Shelf. I've been working on a new video course for the past 4 to 5 weeks or so, taking a photo from vision through field work, through editing, all the way to a finished piece of printed art. It'll come out really soon, actually, so watch my website, scottdavenportphoto.com, for details, announcements, and so forth. But anyway, while I was processing one of the photos, I reached a point where I thought the photo was done. That's great, I'm finished, I'm going to be done for the day. But that evening, the image kept popping back into my head, and it was telling me, my subconscious was telling me, something was off. There was something else I needed to do for this photo. I needed to hit pause. I didn't go back to the photo right away. I let it sit for several days. When I finally returned to it, I saw the flaws, I saw the problems with the scene, I saw where the processing was good, but it could be better, how a crop could improve the story I wanted to tell. I even took the photo and shared it with a few other photographers to get their opinions on different crops, because I was torn on a couple of things. I had my leanings, but I wanted to get some trusted input. Once I had all of that, I sat back down, I made additional edits, and the photo is better for it. I had to take a step back and take a break to properly see the shortcomings, and only then could I correct them. I realize I have a habit of putting things on the shelf insofar with how I approach each photo shoot. After each shoot, and I've captured the frames, I get back, I make sure they're copied, they're backed up, and then I basically do nothing. Usually days, sometimes weeks will go by before I look at the photos from that outing. And I think there's value in that. Why? I view the photos with a more objective eye. I don't have as much of an emotional attachment to the images. Yes, I remember the outing. I recall what it felt like on location. And that's important to my selection process and my post-processing for that matter, to deliver those feelings through the image. However, that pause and that break between taking the photos and processing the photos, at least for me, I can be more objective. I can see the photo more clearly. I can tell if a photo is just poor, and I'm less inclined to force one of the photos and coerce myself into believing it's good just because I had a fun time capturing it, or I had some struggle to capture it, had to go the extra mile to capture it. And just because you hike up a mountain or stand knee-deep in cold water doesn't make the photo good. The photo is good when the photo is good. So putting a photo shoot on the shelf helps me curate and pick my best work. As I thought more about this put it on the shelf idea and taking a break from a particular photo or a particular photo shoot, I started poking around online to see what other photographers have had thoughts about this, pausing between things or putting an unfinished work to the side and coming back to it later. And I certainly found plenty of other folks that have those same ideas where sometimes you just have to stop, put it to the side, and come back to it later when the inspiration is there and when the eyes are fresh. One of the articles I found was on Adorama was talking about taking a break from photography entirely. Not this concept of I'm working on something, I need to take a break from that thing. It was take a step back, take an entire pause on photography as a whole. And it was interesting. I hadn't really thought about that consciously as a put it on the shelf type of approach. And one point in the article that resonated with me is taking a pause helps you not take things for granted. It can remind you why you enjoyed photography or why it's nice to be outside or why it's nice to be working with your favorite subjects. Whatever your photography, the joy that your photography brings you, you don't take that for granted if you take a break from it. If you're constantly doing it, you don't want your passion to turn into a grind. I know that was an interesting point. I'll drop a link in the show notes to the article so you can check it out for yourself. That brings this week's episode to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gives you the freedom to say, I don't have to muscle through a piece of work. I can put it on the shelf. I can come back to it later. And in my experience, the work ends up being better for it. If you enjoyed today's podcast and your podcast app of choice has a rate button, I would really appreciate a rating. You can always find every episode on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, and also stopdownpodcast.com. Until next time, my name is Scott Davenport. Have fun.